In this video today, we're going to show you how to combine data within a workbook using Intelligence Central. So in our example today, I've got a customer and order workbook, and it's got two workflows. One has customer information, and the second one has order information. And we're going to combine these two workflows into a third workflow, which is customer combined with order information. And we're going to do it using Intelligence Central. Okay, let's start with our first workflow. So in order to combine data within a workbook into a new workflow, one of the things you're going to have to do is settle on the output of the data that you want to combine. So looking at this customer information, I've got a couple of decisions to make. First of all, I've got my original customer query here, and then I also have a cleansed version of that same data here. So depending on which version of the data, raw as it came out of my diagram in my query, or after cleansing that I want to combine into my order data, is where I'm going to add the output step. Let's start with adding the output step into using this first initial query. And I'm going to add my contact ID to this output step right here really quickly, because I know that I'm going to need that contact ID in order to join this to my order information. Okay, so let's add a new step to this query, and we're going to use an output step, and we're going to publish to Intelligence Central. So I'm going to pick my Intelligence Central server that I want to publish this to. And once I've picked that server, I'm going to get a publishing screen. And I've got a couple of things I need to fill out here. First of all, I'm going to go ahead and put it into a folder. Now you can put it into any existing folder that you have, or you can create a new one. Let's create a new folder and call it Customers and Orders Reporting. Customer and Order Reporting, we'll call it. Okay, that's my new folder. And I'm going to go ahead and publish this data out there, and I'm going to call this data customer, or we'll actually call it raw customer data. I'm calling it raw because this isn't the cleansed version, this is straight out of the database. And I'm going to go ahead and share this data with all users on my Intelligence Central system. I can keep it private so that only I could see it. I could share it with everybody, or I could share it with selected users. Now for my workbook, I just need to keep it private, but maybe I want to use this data or allow other people to use this data within their workbook. So I'm going to go ahead and share that. Okay, so here it is out there, and I'm going to give it a little description. Customer, we'll just repeat what we said before, raw customer data, and we'll go ahead and publish this out there. Okay, so that's created an output step. I'm going to go ahead and just generate that output really quickly so that it exists out there for us. And great, once that's generated, it'll actually show me this data within that environment. Perfect. So now I've got my order information down here, which is all my order information and my order items. And I'm going to do the same thing here. I'm going to right mouse click, add an output step to publish. It'll bring up that publishing screen again. I'm going to select that folder, name this my raw order data, and we'll go ahead and just write raw order data, and I'll go ahead and share this with any user just to keep it simple, and publish this as well. And remember, after I do that, I always need to generate the output. Great. So now if I were to look inside my Intelligence Central source, which is here, and I go to look at this folder, I can see those two items right there. And that's what I'm going to use when I create my third workflow here. So let's go ahead and do that. Create the third workflow. We'll call this Cust plus Orders. And we'll build a result set. We're going to use a query builder. And because I'm pulling data from Intelligence Central, that's the source that I want, not local storage, not SQL Server, Intelligence Central, and we'll select that. Once I've got this query builder up, it's just a matter of dropping these two created tables in, drawing the relationship, which is contact ID. We'll select the fields. I'll just make it easy for myself, select them all, and take off one of the contact IDs and go ahead and run that query. Okay, and that brings back all that information joined together. So using this way with Intelligence Central, you can join that data across different workflows within the same workbook. One of the benefits, though, of using Intelligence Central is outside of my system. It's out on a server on that server drive. And now remember, I've shared each one of those work sets with other people. So even if I were to create a new workbook, or a new user created a new workbook, let's go ahead and save this workbook. And create a new workbook. And we'll call this Customer Workbook. Okay, so now let's add a new workflow to this workbook. We're going to call this workflow Customers and Orders. And when I go to build this result set in this new workbook, for my source, I'm going to choose Intelligence Central. And when I choose that Intelligence Central source, I can still access this raw order and raw customer data, even though they're being created through a different workbook. I can access this data, drop it into this new workbook, draw the joins again, right? Because this is a new work, but it doesn't know the joins. Pick my fields and run my query. So I just want to point out that when you save to Intelligence Central, you give yourself some opportunities for other people to use the same data sets that you're creating. If you've shared them with it as part of publishing to Intelligence Central, then those data sets are also there for them to pull into their own workbooks. If you'd like to learn more about using Intelligence Central alongside Toad Data Point, check out our other videos on toadworld.com.